everybody, and welcome back to our weekly Stars Align video. I am excited because this week didn't try to end with giving me a panic attack. That said, we are here to talk about episode 6 of Stars Align, but before we do, I want to give a big shout out to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter. At Little Witch Boy, at Nacho Gashardo, at GoStray8, at KHR Alice, and at FireOtaku845. Thank you so much for sharing last week's Stars Align video, everybody, and if you would like to have your name shouted out in next week's Stars Align video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet, and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout your name out in next week's video. Now, with that said, we are gonna get into this week's episode, and I gotta tell you how refreshing it was to have an episode that was just pleasant. The entire way through, it is just calm and cool, and that's all I really wanted from Stars Align for a little while now. I just wanted everything to stay calm for an episode. Well, actually, I shouldn't really say calm, because the episode was far from it. In fact, it was honestly pretty hype. This is the most sports anime-ist episode thus far. It actually feels like a sports anime this go-around instead of a anime drama. It really puts an emphasis on the soft tennis this week, which, let's be real, I kind of didn't really come to Stars Align for soft tennis, but I'm here for it. When I first came to the show, I had come because so many people were telling me, you gotta watch it, you gotta watch it, you gotta watch it. And now I'm the guy telling friends of mine, oh, you gotta watch it, you gotta watch it. Trust me. And I went in with that whole trust me thing, people telling me trust us, watch it. So I was like, fine, and I came into it, but I knew nothing about soft tennis. Admittedly, I still don't know a whole lot about soft tennis, but like most good sports anime, I am now intrigued to actually try to watch a soft tennis match on TV, because genuinely I am kind of interested. The way that the show depicts tennis, it actually looks 10 times more fun than it normally looks. And with this show, they actually did manage to slowly win me over to at least moderately enjoy soft tennis. I was sort of passingly interested in it until this week's episode. And this week's episode is hey, now we're gonna convince you that soft tennis is friggin' rad. And honestly, yeah, soft tennis is pretty rad now. I consider soft tennis to be pretty cool. Sometimes it's soft tennis for a hard show. That's how I would describe this episode of Stars Align. You get some soft tennis for a hard show, because this episode finally gives us not only soft tennis, but a softer episode. It's still very hype. I can't say it's calm. It's not the calm and quiet episode that I wanted. It is still very in your face, loud and crazy like Tsubasa and Shingo, but it's still genuinely pleasant because, nobody has any super intense drama going on this week. It is all about the tennis, and I am here for it. And speaking of the tennis, oh my goodness, did you see how fluid that animation was? It was beautiful. The animation in this week's episode had me literally going woo, woo, I kept doing the woo thing. Again, another episode that probably is the reason why maybe I should at least do a handful of reaction videos here and there, because you guys would have just seen the woo, woo. I'm doing it now in my chair. You can't quite see it because, you can only hear it. But imagine that I'm moving from side to side, and I'm my arms are clenching in towards my face, because it's just it's just dope. The animation in here was fantastic. Every hit. You know what? And listen, I know I compare every friggin' sports series to this series, but that's because it's the GOAT, dang it. And some of the hits, they kind of reminded me of Oikawa's hitting the volleyball, in Haikyuu, maybe not so much in the first season, but the second season, when Oikawa just slams a volleyball down with the power of Zeus, you feel it, right? And here, when character whose name I don't remember, starts with an O, I think, the new bad guy. Oh, I shouldn't say bad guy. The new player from the other school, but he when he hits the ball, right? When he hits the tennis ball, my only gripe is that when he hits it, right? The first time you see this man hit the tennis ball back at Maki, he hits it like Oikawa, he just, totally rocks the friggin' thing. And it looks like it does the Haikyuu thing where it zooms into the face and the smears push the character's face back, and then you feel the arm come barreling towards the camera, and then the ball just rockets towards the camera and then like damn near hits Maki, and it just looks dope. My only gripe is that they replay that shot, and I was like, no, don't do that. Like it should feel more impactful if you only show it once. Showing it twice, I noticed, I was just like, oh, okay, it's not quite as, it doesn't look quite as smeary and wild and like almost like pen strokey as Haikyuu does, but it's still impactful stuff. The animation is top tier. Kudos to the animation team. Kudos to the animator who actually worked on some of these shots, because like a lot of them felt like the work of one animator. I could be wrong, but a lot of them had the same sort of like smear look, and I would love to know the name of the animator who's working on this scene in particular. If not, like I'm assuming the more tennis focused scenes in the show, because the kudos to them. Like they really rocked that. I'm not quite as learned as some other Anitubers who I really look up to and enjoy, such as Anime AJ and Super Eye Patch Wolf, who I swear for some reason every time I watch an Anime AJ video I feel like he knows the name of every animator in Japan, and I wish I had that skill. But still, I have to give big kudos to the animation team. They absolutely made this episode just a total joy. It's so fun to watch this week's episode in motion. It is fantastic. The music is good, but it's just not as good as the animation. I really feel the animation carried the whole episode. Like it's I'm gonna say the animation carried the episode, but not because the rest of the episode is bad. It's just the animation was so dope that the rest of the episode tried to struggle to live up to it, and it was tough, because it's good stuff, if you can't tell, because I've been rambling about it for several minutes. Anyway, I should probably get to the actual matches and the quote-unquote story of the episode, because there's really no story to this week's episode. There's no theme to this week's episode. There's no like overarching story that connects it to the previous episodes. The only thing that connects it to the previous episodes is the fact that last episode left off with our boys about to face off with this team, and now we're facing off with the team, and I gotta say, the boys are actually doing pretty okay. I'm genuinely proud of our ragtag team of soft tennis boys, because they really they're pulling their own. Like they're really like holding their own with these guys. Like they are really like pulling their weight and holding their own, and I'm very proud. And first up is Taiyo and Now, and I thought they were gonna get totally destroyed. Of all the soft tennis boys, these are the softest of tennis boys. They are the sweetest ones. So I was kind of expecting them to get totally creamed. But honestly, the more I think about it, I actually think Now and Taiyo probably have the best show. They opened the best. They opened the strongest out of the group. And their whole dynamic of like, they don't play like one towards the net and one far away from the net. They both play in the back, which I think is actually threw the other team off. They weren't expecting it. They underestimated them. I underestimated them. And Taiyo and Now really stepped up, really delivered for the team, and I appreciate that. Even if Mitsue is like me, where she's like, they're gonna get destroyed, and then they start to win, and she's like, oh, yeah! And then when they get destroyed, she's like, no, I knew that. Mitsue, this entire episode is like the biggest, I hate to use meme lingo, but she's the biggest mood, like the entire episode. Like even at the beginning, where they're doing like the pre-game hype, right? And the other team's like doing the like gay, like that whole like hype, and they're trying to like pump up their team, right? And then our team does the like, I don't even remember what it was, but they start like fight doll, like jumping around in a circle, and Mitsue's like, what in the hell are they doing? And she's just like, disgusting. Like, and even because when the other two, and this is me realizing that I am biased towards our group, but I mean, like, obviously they're our group, but when the other team was doing it, I'm like, gee, I was with Mitsue where I'm like, can y'all relax? It's obnoxious. Calm down. It's just a practice match. Chill out. But then when our team started doing the like fight doll, like started jumping around, I was like, yeah, get it, boys. And then when Mitsue's like, you're both obnoxious, I was like, yeah, but our boys get a pass. Anyway, back to the matches. The matches themselves, honestly, like the Taiyo and Now match, I think Taiyo and Now were the biggest surprise. Rintaro and Itsuki, I feel like probably should have done better than they did. Tsubasa and Shingo are easily the funniest characters in the show to me now. They are probably some of my favorites. Their pairing is perfect. The way they play soft tennis, the way I play any sport, and that is like, if you're gonna make a shot, like say you're at the free throw line, I'm the guy who's just like, don't miss. I'm that guy. Like, I'm the don't miss guy. Like, I can't help myself. For some reason, I'm just like, if I could be a troll and I can, like, not cheat to win, but if I can trick you into letting me win, then yeah, I'm probably gonna do that. So Tsubasa and Shingo playing like Shingo playing like he's a Chunibyo, like where he's just like super, like he did the rolling thunder move, you know what I mean? Again, to reference Haikyuu, I'm sorry, I won't reference Haikyuu again for the rest of the episode, or the rest of the video. But yes, Shingo doing the whole like Chuni, like naming his serve, and then Tsubasa screaming every time the other team tries to hit the ball back. It is brilliant. I loved it. I loved that pairing. I thought they were fantastic. And the fourth match is where the episode decides to be all cheeky and on a cliffhanger, and that is Maki and Toma versus some other guy and the main redhead guy who I love. That character is friggin' dope. I want to see more from red-haired character, please. That dude is also a mood, because that guy, like when Shingo and Tsubasa are screaming their heads off, he actually rightfully points out, like, they're really funny. And the other, like, my squad is kind of dumb for underestimating these guys. Like, they're not as good as us, but because you're underestimating them, they're getting points in. So that's on you guys. You guys are dumb. And the other team, they're actually funny. Like, he seems like the kind, like, he really is enjoying having somebody to toy with. Like, this dude likes having our group around, because he thought that they were going to walk in and destroy them, but that's not quite the case. So he's actually sort of intrigued. And I like the way that he's like, hey, the others underestimated you. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually coming out here to destroy you. And him and Maki both laugh at each other, and I'm like, are they going to, like, punch each other? But no, they're just laughing. Like, they're just enjoying themselves. And I was like, honestly, I'm kind of all about this. I just hope, and I'm hoping against hope, I think, because honestly, this show just loves to hurt my soul, but I'm hoping that the red-haired dude doesn't turn out to be a ginormous jackass, because I have a feeling like they're gonna push, like, oh no, he's actually like just as evil and dark as some of the other characters in the show, and he's bad, and he's gonna beat them up, because he keeps saying like, hey, I'll beat you up, and the other characters say like, we can't lose because so and so's gonna beat us up if we lose, and I don't want to have to deal with that. So I'm hoping that he doesn't actually beat them up, or at the very least, if he wants to like lay in a jab, like jab at somebody's arm or in the gut, if they're willing to let you punch them in the gut, then like fine. But, like, it has to be okay on both parties. Like, I don't want my dude to just, like, come in, start throwing fists, like, throwing hands at the boys. I don't want that. But if this dude's like, hey, I said I was going to beat you up, so give me your arm. Like, if he does a quick arm jab, then, like, fine. That's fine. But if I see this dude actually try to beat up our boys, I'm going to be really mad. And I just don't want to fight. Because, like, I just don't want to see these two fight. Because I have a feeling Maki and this dude are going to fight. And I don't want it to happen. I just want them to have a rival who's just like, who's cocky and a bit crazy, but not evil, you know? Like, I'm hoping this dude, please don't be evil. Please let this dude be fun. Anyway, about the whole cliffhanger thing, yeah, this episode ends on a cliffhanger, and it's just Maki turning to Toma and saying like, hey, I got a plan. And then the episode just ends, and I'm like, how are you gonna do that? Like how are you gonna do that? You teased the entire episode that the main dude from the other school is gonna face off against Maki and Toma, and I was all excited. And they lost the first match, or they lost the first game, because I think they said there's 5 games and you have to win a best of 3. So how are you gonna end with Maki and Toma losing the first game, and then Maki saying, I got a plan, and then we don't get to see the plan, and the episode ends? Because at that point I was so hyped, and then at the end I was like, oh, now I gotta come back next week, as if I wasn't gonna anyway. Like, just show me the plan. Damn it. That's the thing too, like, who are you fooling? As if I wasn't gonna come back next week. Your stars align. At this point, I'm here for the long haul, even though I know you're just trying to give me a panic attack. That's fine. I'm here for the long haul, stars align. You don't gotta try to lull me into next week. Just tell me what the secret was. Just tell me what Maki's plan was. Now I gotta wait a week. Thanks. On that note, though, everybody, I'm going to give this week's episode a very strong rank of A. It is absolutely an A-tier episode, and again, the most sports anime-ist episode thus far, and I loved it. And on that note, everybody, that's going to wrap up today's video, but before we take off, I want to give a big shout-out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier: Calvin Atkinson, Crowbar of Irony, Dominic, Urza, Ginkotaku, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Mirth Mouser, Omder Garamond, Cell, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Somastan, Steven, Tristan, Verdon, and Westbourne Eastbred. A huge thank you to those of you who support the channel over on Patreon, and if you too would like to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out that first link in the description to check out our Patreon page, see all the cool rewards you can get over there, as well as access to our Patreon exclusive Discord. Thanks once again for checking out today's video, everybody. If you enjoyed it, then you've probably been on the internet long enough to know what to do already, so I ain't gonna tell you, but I will say that it is appreciated. And if you are feeling stressed out today, then you go have yourself a warm cup of tea, and I will talk to you all again real soon.